Hello friends, and welcome to episode 3 of the Bonfire. Today we will be talking about the Abyss Watchers. Super short intro for this video. I've got some stuff to talk to you guys about, but I'm just going to save it for the end. So without further ado, let's get into the Abyss Watchers, Farron's undead legion. After extinguishing the 3 flames within the swamp, we make our way to a set of huge double doors, behind which our next enemy awaits us. The Abyss Watchers, also known as the Undead Legion of Farron, are the first of 5 Lords of Cinder that we encounter. If you've played the first Dark Souls game, the Abyss Watchers will probably look familiar to you, and this is because their armor and greatswords are modeled after Sir Artorias, the Abyss Walker. Before we get too deep into the lore of the Abyss Watchers, I think it's important to answer 2 questions. The first being, what exactly is the Abyss? And the second being, who was Artorias? So when answering the question of what the Abyss actually is, to put it simply, I think it's just a form of the dark that can manifest differently depending on its creator. The Abyss, like the dark, is constantly spreading and consuming, and it seems to be attracted to, and especially effective against, those that are aligned with the light. Those trapped within the Abyss are driven mad, and can even undergo physical changes that make them more akin to beast than man. I'm not entirely convinced though that the Abyss is inherently dangerous, as it does seem to manifest differently depending on its master. Take, for example, the differences between the Abyss that we see in Ulyssil and in New Londo. Without protection, we are immediately consumed by the New Londo Abyss. However, we're able to traverse the Ulyssil Abyss without protection, and it doesn't do direct harm to us. And because we can stop the spread of an Abyss by killing its creator, it can be inferred that the Abyss draws power directly from the one responsible for its creation. The Abyss is shown to have the potential to manifest in different ways, some more dangerous than others, and to be directly linked to its creator, leading me to question whether it's inherently dangerous or made to be that way. However, while we can speculate on the inherent nature of Abyss, we must keep in mind that in all instances that we encounter it throughout the series, it does pose some kind of threat. So now that I've laid the groundwork for what exactly the Abyss is, we need to talk about the man that died trying to fight it. Artorias, as we know, was a knight that was held in high esteem by Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight. So much so that Gwyn gifted him a ring that would improve his poise, allowing him to further hone his swordsmanship skills. Artorias went on to become one of the 4 knights of Gwyn, pledging his undying allegiance to the Lord of Sunlight. And now to discuss his loyal companion. While the events that led up to their meeting are unknown, we do know that at some point Artorias formed a close bond with the great wolf Sif, who remained loyal to Artorias long after his demise. So before I get into what I think happened to Artorias, I just want to say that there are so many different theories to choose from. If you don't like mine, spend 5 minutes on Reddit and you'll have 10 more to choose from. There are seriously so many different theories about what happened to Artorias and why he was in Ulyssil. But I believe that Artorias traveled to Ulyssil to try to find a way to stop the Abyss that had consumed it. Upon arriving, Artorias formed an alliance with the beasts of the Abyss, being granted a ring that would allow him to traverse the Abyss. This is where his name, Artorias the Abyss Walker, comes from. The description of the Covenant of Artorias reads, quote, "This ring symbolizes Knight Artorias' covenant with the beasts of the Abyss. Its wearer, like Artorias himself, can traverse the Abyss." Unquote. Now able to move through the Abyss, Artorias, with Sif by his side, sets out to destroy Manus, the father of Abyss, who was awoken by Darkstalker Kaith in an effort to bring about the Age of Dark. Artorias and Sif fight Manus, but are ultimately unable to defeat him. Realizing that they're losing, Artorias makes the decision to shield Sif, leaving himself vulnerable to attack, and is lost to the Abyss. In reality, we are the ones that defeat Manus and stop the spread of the Ulyssil Abyss, although it is believed to be Artorias that does so. Alvina, the white cat that helps us save Sif in the DLC, says of the legend, quote, "The legend of Artorias art none but a fabrication. Traversing the dark? 'Tis but a fairy tale. Have thine own respect. Go not yonder knocking for nothing, I say." Unquote. Sif at this point has vowed to defend Artorias' grave, and Alvina doesn't want anyone, not even you, to disturb him and force him to fight. She's even willing to besmudge the legend of Artorias to keep you away. After all, very few know of his corruption, and even fewer actually witnessed it. Our killing of Artorias preserves his legacy and ensures that no one will ever see this powerful knight in his fallen state. The lie of Artorias is a noble one, because while the Abyss is truly unstoppable, the legend gave people hope and allowed the Abyss Watchers to rise in his honor. Sif, in honor of his lost friend, defends the grave of Artorias, protecting it against those who would try to steal the power of Abyss walking. When it's us that comes to take the power, Sif recognizes us, but realizes that he has to uphold his promise. He'll die before he lets anyone, even us, disturb this grave. And in the end, he does exactly that, fulfilling his promise to his friend until the very end. I know that explanation was pretty bare bones, and I definitely could have gone a lot deeper into the lore of Artorias, but I really just wanted to give enough that even those who haven't played the first game can really understand the history of the Abyss Watchers. So now on to the real star of the show, the Abyss Watchers. The Abyss Watchers were a special faction of Farron's undead legion, and they had the same goal as Artorias, stopping the spread of Abyss. They vowed to accomplish this goal by any means necessary, eventually striking fear into those that they encountered. The description of the Undead Legion helm reads, quote, "These undead warriors vowed to partake of wolf blood. They acted in the dark, seeking out any sign of the Abyss, fighting a constant war with its abominations. This pointed steel helm was a distinct symbol of the Legion, shirked as a sinister omen by the masses." Unquote. The Abyss Watchers carried on the legacy of Artorias, wearing similar armor and using a very similar greatsword. They do, however, deviate in their fighting style. While Artorias was known to use both a greatsword and a shield, the Abyss Watchers opt for a completely offensive fighting style, wielding a greatsword in one hand and a hook in the other, allowing for an unpredictable and agile moveset. I do wonder if this could be in some way related to the fact that Artorias sacrificed his shield to protect Sif, being left with only a greatsword to defend himself. But in order to more effectively combat the Abyss, we know that they partook of wolf blood. And upon defeating them, they drop soul of the blood of the wolf, rather than an Abyss Watcher soul. There's debate over what this means, but I believe it to be some kind of blood ritual that binds them together and allows them to draw power from one another. We see this in their signature group fighting style. They attack together, gaining power from one another. And as long as there is one Abyss Watcher left alive, the others can never truly die. But this strategy has a fatal flaw. If one becomes corrupted by the Abyss, they all do. And this is why they're locked in eternal combat, trying to fulfill their vow to destroy the Abyss, even though it's infiltrated their ranks. Because there is always at least one Abyss Watcher left standing after a duel, they can never really die. That is, until we encounter them. In phase 2 of the fight, their strategy changes. They realize that they're being faced with a foe unlike any that they fought before. They merge into one body, combining all of their strength into one immensely powerful force. They stake everything on this last fight. This is the last Abyss Watcher, the true Lord of Cinder. We see him literally burning with the power of this soul, and if he falls, they all do. We know the outcome of this fight. The Abyss Watchers stand between us and our desire for this world, whatever that may be. The Abyss always wins, and can never truly be destroyed, for as long as there is dark, there will be Abyss. Nonetheless, the Abyss Watchers, in the honor of Artorias, vowed to sacrifice everything to fight it, and in the end, they made good on this vow. Okay, so that was the Piss Watchers, plus a little bit of Artorias and a little bit of world building all rolled into one. I feel like the Abyss Watchers are really hard to truly understand if you don't have some background knowledge. And shout out to Abyssal Archive. I referenced this a lot when I was trying to figure out how I wanted to describe the Abyss. It's kind of a weird abstract concept and it's hard to put it into words. And just a heads up, I know that I've been able to get these first 3 episodes out within days of each other, but because of school starting back up, I think that the next couple episodes are going to take a little bit longer to get out. Also, I was looking through my viewer demographics and found out that the majority of you are women. So hello ladies, I'm so happy to have you, and remember that we as femcells are always stronger together than we are apart. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, don't go hollow.